Hey little warriors, Anthea here. So I'm talking today about self-love and acceptance and what we can do to begin to love and accept ourselves on a deeper level. So I want to talk a little bit first about what we do to suppress our emotions and ways that we suppress our emotions. So we all go through things, hey Jess, beautiful lady, we all go through things in life that force us to have to suppress things so that we can move on, yeah? Because sometimes when we are confronted with certain things in our lives, when we experience trauma or tragedy or whatever it is, it can be too much to look at it. It can be too much to deal with that in that moment. So we suppress it, or we do things so that we don't have to look at our pain. So we don't have to deal with our pain. So we might do things like suppress our emotions. We might drink. We might take drugs. We might have sex. We might manipulate others. We might project things, whatever it is, right? At some point, we all done something like that to suppress our pain so we don't have to deal with it, yeah? And usually people go to alcohol, sex, and drugs to experience some kind of pleasure, even if it's a masked pleasure, so that we don't have to deal with the sadness or the grief or the trauma or the shame, whatever it is that's showing up. So we suppress it. And then as life goes on, we suppress it. Hi, Amber, good morning. And we continue to suppress things. And then we get to a point where our cup is full of the wrong things, and anger and other heavy emotions can be seen through the eyes. Yeah. So when I'm looking at someone that I'm working with, or I'm looking at someone who's talking to me about this heaviness of their emotions, that they don't want to live like that anymore, I can see the heaviness in their eyes. And that's what happens when we carry those emotions, anger, shame, guilt, depression, whatever it is. When we carry it like we really carry it. You can see it on people's face. And so what do? How do we get rid of it? And how do we create some space within us to allow for new things to come in? And one thing that I have found really powerful, and you've probably heard me talk about this before, is writing it out. Yeah. So the way to heal anything is to feel it. And for me, that has been the quickest way to heal anything. So a broken heart, sadness, rejection. Hi, Christopher, and whoever else is watching. Hi. You've got to feel it. Now, if you're feeling angry towards someone else, start writing a letter. Get a piece of paper and start writing it. I'm angry towards you because of da 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 da. Now, as you're writing it, naturally what's going to happen is you're going to feel that anger. And this exercise isn't about you going into a rage of anger. It's really just about you feeling it so you can let it go, right? And in writing it out, you're actually releasing that energy out of your body. And this is what it's all about. It's all about creating a vacuum within you to allow something new to come in. So when we're writing out the anger, we're expressing it, we're feeling it, we're letting it go, we're writing it on the piece of paper, the energy's leaving our body. And there's a universal law, and I'm trying to remember what that guy's name is. There's a guy who talks about creating a vacuum, yeah? Like when you walk on the sand and you leave your footprints on the sand, the water is going to come up and wash away your footprint, right? So it's like filling that space. Universally, a space will always be filled once it has been created, right? So you want to create a vacuum within yourself to allow for some good stuff to come in. Some of you may have heard the theory of, if you want a new man or a woman in your life, create some space in your wardrobe for them. So empty out the wardrobe. Create like a little space in your wardrobe so that there's room for them to come in, right? So that's what we're doing with our emotions here. That's what we want to do. We want to empty it out to create a vacuum within us to allow some good stuff to come in. So it's really hard for anything good to come in if you're full, if your cup's full. Yeah, so we're going to empty out the cup. So start writing a letter. And if you haven't done the Judgment Detox, which is one of my programs, which is, it's a 5-day program, which I love, because this is mainly what we do. We write out everything that we feel. So during the week, as the week goes on, if you remember something that you're angry about, that you're still carrying, write that down too. And begin to collect everything, put everything in a Ziploc bag or a little box. And at the end of the week, under the moon, you burn it all. Yeah, and in those moments, high karma, in those moments where you're burning the anger, you're burning the suppressed emotions, whatever it is you're burning, set an intention that you're letting it go. And it's no longer going to affect you anymore. And it's really powerful, and it works. And it creates a vacuum within you. Yeah, it creates this big, beautiful space inside of you for good stuff to begin to come in, for new people to enter your life, so that you can attract the things that you really, really deserve. And what happens is when you empty out your cup, underneath all of those emotions, the hurt, the pain, the suffering, the anger, whatever it is little you. She and he are in there under all of that stuff that you've buried them with, is little you. And the closer you get to little you, the happier you will be, the more joy you will experience, the sillier you will be, the more you will laugh. And that is what this whole group is about. The whole group is about healing little you and reconnecting to the truth of who you really are, so that you can be happier. So, self-love and acceptance. Write out all of the anger, the things you're angry about. Write out the things that you need to forgive yourself for. And Chris is just saying, nice, I did that with my ex stuff, but I'll do it again for my anger. Yeah, so Chris, do it again. And if anything shows up with your ex, write it out again. And sometimes there's layers to our healing, and at any given time, your psyche will only show you what you can handle. So, for example, if somebody that you love has just passed away, yeah, your body goes into shock, yeah, and your psyche's doing this. Your psyche's putting your body into a state of shock so that you don't feel the full effects of grief. Because if you felt the full effects of grief, physically your body probably couldn't handle it, and you would probably have a heart attack or something. Yeah, the body can only handle so much. So you go into a state of shock, and the grief slowly creeps in, and it usually kicks in at full effect at around the 6-month mark. Now, that's textbook theories on grief. It can happen in other ways, but that's usually what happens. And you might feel your psyche slowly letting you experience little bits of grief at a time. But your psyche will only show you what you can handle at times. So as you get stronger, you might be shown new stuff that you thought you had healed, but it'll show you another layer of it. So, yeah. So I hope this has helped. Please reach out if you need any support. And I'll keep talking about this during the next 7 days. Keep writing out anything that you want to let go of, and at the end of the week, we'll burn it. So I'm just reading the comments here. So Chris is just saying a lot of anger came from his ex. It was a big pile, so burnt for a while, and it was liberating. Yeah, it is really liberating, because you're actually getting rid of that heaviness out of your body and your energy field and your soul. And burning it is like saying, it's like completing that cycle. It's like putting that story to bed so you can write a new story. And how exciting it is when we get to write a new story, right? It can be really sad and hard to do that, but it's also really exciting. So, yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Sending you guys all so much love, and I will speak to you soon.